Well, ladies and gents, welcome back. After a sick first map performance on the T side of NiP, VP made a valiant attempt to bounce back in, but narrowly came up short after some huge individual plays from Exist. But now we move across to Train, where things could go a whole lot different for VP.
Yeah, this is the map you'd expect them to come back on, and you could see, it's funny through that whole replay, just once again seeing the relief on all of NiP's faces.
Yep.
But what a sick game, especially that CT side from Exist, who came up huge for his team time and time again. I don't know how many kills he ended on, but you guys can actually check that one out if you use the Score Esports app, which you can get through the Google Play Store, the App Store for your Apple products. Also got a bunch of analysis and articles and all the schedules for what we have coming up tomorrow for the semifinals and the finals here in Malmö for DreamHack Masters.
And of course, the winner of this game goes off to face against Godsend, so we could potentially have a full-on Swedish semi-final, which I'm sure a lot of people here would be pretty happy with.
Yeah, I can't imagine them minding that whatsoever. Godsend looked looking pretty good earlier today, but NiP, this first map, you touched on it. CT side a little bit shaky. Terra sides for both teams. Although that was in line with how we've seen Cash played out recently. I would know a lot of people have touched on it just because it happened just a week or two ago at the majors, is where it was a very T-sided map. It was 10-5 essentially, were the average scores. So not too far off here with the 12-3, and then a struggle there to close it out on the CT side. But Train is a different animal, because Train is where Virtus.pro has always been known as one of the best teams on this map. A very unique style, a very difficult to stop and duplicate style out of Virtus.pro here. This is where they kind of get that explosive kind of effect in their game style really comes into play, blowing up on that outer yard. I mean, there have been times we've seen this VP, when they do their outer executes, they're down the lanes, they're down past the trains and getting the bomb planet within 10 seconds of their execute. I mean, it's a scary sight to behold, and if you don't have the proper positioning, proper utility, you're gonna get run over, and even if you do, it's hard to stop.
That's exactly it. They are formidable, at the very least, when it comes to Train. And I do wonder if NiP's lackluster CT performance is going to follow through on Train. If it does, VP will be mounting big digits on their T side. But ladies and gents, I think we're just about to jump into the knife round. So we should be underway very shortly. Of course, normally you'd say the winner of this wants to go to the CT side, but with VP...
Yeah, it is the T sides. I mean, you think the really good Train teams right now are like VP and Navi, obviously, are the two big ones that come to mind. And it's because their T sides can be so effective on such a heavily CT sided map. So it is very scary. But I think if you're NiP and you win this, you go CT, you win the knife, and you go CT side anyways. You just take your chances with it. It will be interesting to see if Virtus.pro, who wins it, actually decides to go. But this is going to be a tall task for NiP. They did struggle a little bit earlier in this tournament on this map, and this is going to be a whole new animal. I mean, one thing that they have to worry about, Snacks on the AWP in the first map looked like there was no one who was going to challenge him. Pit couldn't step up to the task. He couldn't be that op who was able to outduel Snacks. So, I mean, if Forest is going to pick it up, they're going to use a little bit of power in their rifles, but that's going to be one thing, since, I mean, on Train, where he was so good at holding angles with that AWP on Train, there's so many different spots you can play with the AWP and be effective.
Well, there's a lot of questions that we need the answers to as we just wait for the players to get themselves readied up here. VP selecting the CT side, so NiP will be looking to rinse and repeat from their very strong T performance over on Cash. And I wonder how much impact Threat has had when it comes to the Train, because I think most people coming through into this best of 3 expected it to go the distance. I think we were expecting to get to Mirage.
Yeah, you started to doubt a little bit, though, there on the first map. I mean, when you saw that play out, it was like, oh, God, is this actually going to happen here? But either way, Train is going to be tough. So, I mean, this crowd is a little bit quiet right now.
It is. I feel like maybe we need to...
Well, maybe it's going to help that we're going live at the moment. The freeze time has started, so we're going to get into the pistol round. Virtus.pro is going to start on the CT side, NiP on the Terra side. And they need to get started off on a good foot.
Let's hit some noise. Malmö, how you doing? Seem to be doing pretty well. Into the game we go anyway. Second map, first map. Convincing. It certainly wasn't for NiP, but at one point it was looking like it would just slip away from VP. Here's the first frag though from Neo. Pasha tries to stand tall, but he gets traded out instantly from Exist. And with them sending a bait over towards the B side. This is going to keep a couple of the CTs interested for the time being. Neo wasn't able to actually get that frag. He's on 1 HP. That was ballsy to jump down there.
Say.
If you derp that, you're a dead man.
Oh, speaking of derping it, Pit just drops Taz, tries to get aggressive, tries to get creative. Aggression for Virtus.pro up towards those box halls at the B-bomb site and towards Ivy. They trade a couple kills, but Taz gets a little bit overextended. All 4 members of NiP now going to group up towards the inner bomb site, but it's Snacks who's making a play right now, pushing up towards team main. He has all the intel. The question is, when does Bialy start to rotate? Because it might not be quick enough. Neo has 1 HP. He's the only defender. He's got to play so far back. And there it is, Bialy rotating in. Snacks is going to be on a flank, but is it going to be enough? 3 on 4.
With Neo so low, he's not long for this world, and now we go, he gets picked off long range from the Tech 9 of Exist. And now it's all on Snacks. He's coming around from the backside. He's been spotted from Forest and will be dispatched. You can see how much that means to them to pick up the first pistol on train. Gives them good foundations.
You could tell as well that low HP of Neo playing so passively. There were just too many bodies of NiP left alive that flank from Snacks just couldn't come to fruition. There was no pressure put on NiP when they entered into the inner bomb site, so Forrest was able to get a very, very good angle. This time on the anti-eco, much more fast-paced than we saw in Cash. Forrest is already out pressuring with the MAC-10. He's been brought down so low, though. There's Pit and Exist chiming in with 2 kills. And it's a good thing, because Freiburg and Forrest ate a lot of damage coming into that outer yard.
Certainly did. Just 28 health between the two of them. They are expendable weapons, though, those SMGs. Of course, you want to keep them going through into the next round to keep that farm ticking over. But VP, who have a scout as they started things off on the Cash CT side as well, will be looking to try and keep this alive for round 3, as they also did on Cash. Unfortunately for them, though, didn't really pay out. Let's see if that's going to change this time around.
Get Right's on a little bit of a chase here. Not too dedicated to it, though. But he might run into Snacks and Neo, and he is. Spots the first one, jumping up, gets that. Snacks falls, but the scout from Neo chimes in, still at 100 HP. Looks like Exist still wants to try and chase that down. He's got an AK-47. It would be really, really bad if he lost it, but what is that? Neo gets wrecked. And Exist is going to try and prevent the scout. Oh, right at the end! Exist! That is brutal.
Oh my goodness. Just shooting, because why the hell not? It's the end of the round anyway. Taz walks right into the bullets to the face, so no weapon saved this time for VP. That's going to sting. It means they only have a P250 and a HE in their hands going through into round number 3. And NiP looking to start off their T performance as they did on Cash. Double nades down, neither of them connecting onto Snacks, just a little bit too deep.
Oh, I mean, if that had been just a second later, those might have been really, really effective. Just deleted him off the server, but timing of it not working out. 3 SMGs for NiP. Get Right and Force on the MAC-10s. Freiburg on the MP7. Still very passive, a little bit far back towards T-Choke, which is allowing Neo to be this aggressive on top of the train, but regardless of any setup that Virtus.pro has, the arsenal is in NiP's favor. You can see they still have the 3 Molotovs that we saw in Cash. So useful in these anti-ecos, so efficient is NiP with them.
Yeah, hugely in favor of NiP, and well, Neo tried his best on the ladder, got stuck, gets fragged, and just like that, NiP aggress onto the site. He'll have this bomb planted. Snacks is actually chilling out on the site right now.
Oh no.
It's only a matter of time. You've got to feel, will he take a frag down with him? No, he won't. Pit was low, down to 8 health, but survives.
It'll be interesting to see how NiP works their gun rounds, because if it's any similar kind of execute as what we just saw, NiP throws a couple Molotovs deep behind the trains in very common spots. So basically what that helps them do, instead of actually used to like kill a player, it just makes it so they don't have to necessarily clear that position out when they're pushing forward through their smokes. There's less angles they have to check. Allows them to have their attention divided a little bit less, so a little bit more efficient with how they can clear spots and angles. This time, though, they go for a very, very clear presence in box halls early on. Taz is the only one here, and that forces Neo to rotate back. Snacks has the AWP, but there's very little utility left on the Virtus.pro side. 2 flashbangs and 1 smoke, and a minute and a half left in the round.
Yeah, sacrificing the utility for more powerful weapons, whereas you can see NiP have 3 SMGs still in play and a Galil, but still 4 Molotovs and 3 smokes. In fact, pardon me, 4 smokes. So much to play with. They can still get them set plays in effect.
And it is looking very similar to what we just saw in the anti-eco. They're using these SMGs to be perhaps the front line of this attack. Just push them down the train lanes. Molotovs are going to come out. It's all about Snacks with his AWP. He's up above. It's got to be Exist to clear him out. That's the best weapon they have to counter this.
He's holding the angle that allows him vision. And there we go, very well played. Relocating now down onto the site itself. The bomb is at least going to get planted from NiP's perspective, but are they going to be able to hold on? Well, that's a pretty good way of starting things off from Get Right, but he gets traded out straight away. Freiburg and Exist, the last two remaining terrorists. Freiburg's skill comes out once and twice. Exist now, can he pull off yet another miraculous play? And the answer is no. Taz will round it off with 2 kills of his own.
That's a sick flash and peek from Freiburg, but Virtus.pro on the retake is just too much. Down into a 1-on-2 and Exist. You could see he baited out the shot from Snacks, so he tried to use that short reload time between the shots to take the 1-on-1 with the remaining player with Taz, but he can't win that battle quick enough. So Virtus.pro, nicely managed, but with that plant and the damage done to the economy, it's going to be a very solid buy for NiP. They get the bonus money, they have the Molotovs back. This time, there's no SMGs. 4 AKs, the AWP is on Forest. So he's going to be the one dueling against Snacks, at least early on in this match.
Yeah, as we touched upon in the previous round, keeping 3 SMGs in play means there wasn't a huge commitment in that last round from NiP, so they could go ahead and make that nightmare a reality for VP if they take this round away from them. No early aggression from either teams. NiP happy enough to just sit in position for now. Forrest looking for the shots down into Ivy. And VP will scamper away. He's just smoking it out, keeping the terrorists at bay for now. See the NiP are looking though, they're probing onto this defense from VP.
And once again, they're lining up, it looks like, to have a very similar execute one more time at this outer train yard. Neo has a good read though. He's already rotated back. So there's actually 4 members of Virtus.pro at this outer site. It'll be a very difficult bomb site to overtake. Smokes are out. And Snacks is close up with his own AWP right behind the blue train. Drops a flashbang. He's blind himself, so it slows down. There it is, Forrest with the opening kill.
That's a massive opening kill as well. Pasha gets the flash down, but Get Right can just hide round the corner. Wait until that flash dissipates from him. Get Right now gonna go for the peak, and NiP just explode out onto the site. And with 35 seconds left, Hazard has all to do. 1 kill down for him, looking for a second, gets it done, but he's only got 13 health. Realistically, what's his chance of getting this done? Bomb planted on the other side of the site. It's always rough retaking, eh? There's so many positions you have to watch out for, and there we go, Exist. We'll be getting him. NiP have indeed made that nightmare a reality. VP have nothing.
Yeah, very, very curious positioning from Snacks on top of that train with the AWP. Very tough to manage. If you miss a shot or you get blind the way he did, you get punished very, very easily. And NiP, they play that very, very well. They get that opening kill and they stream out towards Electric Box and right next to that blue train in that alcove, but they don't actually progress upon the site. They wait for Virtus.pro to peek, and you saw Get Right had a little bit of a mini lurk during that hit, just biding his time. Very patient, disciplined play from NiP, and they have pistols. They have Virtus.pro back onto the pistols, so it should be an easy round for them to get up towards 5.
Yeah, full USPs. They had a grenade as well earlier that has already been expended, as you can see, did absolutely nothing to NiP. Not a single point of health has been lost so far from either team. But of course, in the next minute and 20 seconds, that is going to change, and drastically in favor of NiP, you have to feel. Standard plays from VP, just looking to feel out onto Ivy, but they're going to find out pretty soon and sharpish that no one is home from NiP because they're heading towards the B site, which has 2 players there from VP and Connector, one of which is Taz. This USP, though, really is not going to be able to get much done. As soon as those AKs and the AWP come onto the site, he's a dead man.
Even Neo rotating back now, so as soon as NiP decides to actually hit this bomb site, there's no attention being actually... Pasha's pushed up towards Ivy, so he at least has some intel that there's no one coming this way, so there should be a rotate pretty soon, especially now that the execution comes in. There's Exist just holding the spray down, eventually finds Neo. Taz is left at the bomb site, taking some shots, not doing too much damage. He will fall soon. This is another good anti-eco from NiP. This is going to be an easy win for them from here on out.
Yep, just a case of cleaning up the stragglers, keeping all those weapons alive, keeping the economy ticking forward. Looking good for NiP. Pasha is the only player now that can stop the party, but he can't. Freiburg is there. NiP take the 5-1 lead, and again, the T side seems to be the more prolific one. VP are going to force up, but that's going to include a Mag 7, and Pasha only has 3.7k at his disposal.
Yeah, I mean, this is another very, very scary buy. They go for 2 Mag 7s. So 2 shotguns on the board. It'll be interesting to see where they decide to go. Snacks heading towards the outer bomb site. So is Pasha. I imagine Pasha's going to take his towards Ivy. Snacks would try and get into ladder room or close up towards behind Blue Train. But those weapons are going to have to be very, very cleverly used.
And maybe some misplays from NiP as well, just running in there without pop flashing it first. There are some parameters that need to be met if VP are going to steer this one away from the rocks. Pasha, close range with the Mag 7, sees his teammate get picked off from the right-hand side. He's going to go with the Mag 7, can't get it done the first time, does get it on the second time. Can't trade out for the AK though, which is a bit painful.
That was a really, really cool tactic by NiP to get that opening kill. The Molotov on the right side to keep anyone from peeking, and the smoke actually turns into a one-way if Get Right's looking at it from that angle. So very effective, gets the opening kill. Pasha's there at least to trade it off, but he can't swap out the gun just yet. Now he's gonna go for it. But still, a 4-on-4, one Mag 7, that's on Snacks, and he's playing that in ladder room. So if anyone comes down, should be a very narrow angle for him to be able to be effective. And also a quick flank, information gathering position here as well, which allows Neo to rotate over towards the B bomb site to support Taz.
VP don't have a great deal of intel though, playing fairly passive other than just outside of Pop Dog. But they are banking on the B play, which would be the correct decision at the moment. Taz on the site again as he plays time and time again. He is a veteran of this location, but he's about to get pushed from Catwalk just to his top left-hand side, and here come the dropping terrorists on top of his head, and it's just gone all NiP's way once again as the open AK does the business. Snacks now from behind, he's going to try and make that Mag 7 sing for him. First kill down, Molly's going to stop his initial charge. Meanwhile, Pasha is trying to snake his way in from the CT side. He's going to take something massive from this point. VP do manage to salvage an AWP, but Pasha's now gone down, and that pretty much puts the red light glaring in the face of Snacks just to save the AWP. NiP will claim a 6th round. The question is, are VP going to keep the AWP? 2 shots missed from Snacks. How is he still alive? Oh my goodness!
Why not?
And he lands a second shot as well. What is happening? Snacks, you cannot keep this AWP. It's not allowed. Pitts coming around from behind. What the hell is going on? Snacks with the great escape. Keeps the AWP alive, takes down both NiP players. I honestly don't even know what I just witnessed.
What is happening? That is insane. Well done, Snacks. You've earned the AWP into the next round. Unfortunately, still, Virtus.pro is in a nightmare, a hellish situation when it comes to their economy. There can be no buy behind this, just P250s, no armor. Did take some guns away, which actually does weaken the bank that NiP had been building up, and he's going to take this over towards Ivy. He's going to protect Pasha as he pushes up, and NiP very fast-paced towards the outer bomb site. Molotov on the ground. Bialy has no idea Freiberg's underneath him, and there it is, spots it out, free kill for Freiberg. Smokes deployed. Pasha's going to be at a quick flank. Snacks still cannot find a shot to take.
And Neo just blindly knifing through the smoke, hoping he'd hit the bomb planter. Doesn't get it done. Pasha from behind. Oh, and Forrest just spins around. Destroys him. And now Snacks looking to try and save the AWP again, but this time he's not so slippery. Freiberg gets his man.
And Virtus.pro not calling a timeout quite yet. They need to start getting on the board. This is a very scary situation for them to be in. This is their map. And NiP is just taking it to them right now.
And even if their T side is phenomenal, you still have to have a decent amount of rounds to play with. You can't be going through into that second half of 2 or 3 rounds. And so far, there's no confidence from me at least that they are going to get a great deal more than this, but that's a good way of starting things off. Snacks is there. And Freiberg, who's been getting plenty of entries thus far, is the man to fall. He is the victim. Forrest up on the train, going to be charging straight through onto the A site with the AWP. Spots himself to play on the green train. And Neo has gone down. Here comes Exist, and again VP, after claiming the first frag, are just collapsing. The capitulation is real. Snacks now with a headshot. Exist goes right back onto him. And now Taz at a 1v2 up on the site. Good news for him is the bomb hasn't been planted and it's dropped to his left-hand side, which you will have eyes on. There's the spray. First frag goes down. 38 health, plays 100 though. Although Forrest does have the AWP. And Taz taps out, trying to fake as though he's going towards Pop Dog side.
Forrest has a minute to play with. At any point, he can swap this AWP out. Plenty of guns on the floor. There it is. Grabs the AK-47. And now he can just play mind games with Taz.
The reverse psychology of both the players here right now is real. It's tangible.
I mean, this is actually, Taz is very dedicated to this outer trainer. And if Forrest was going to the inner bomb site, it would essentially be a lost round for Taz. And what Forrest is doing is hoping that Taz is going to try and get creative and flank around through the B bomb site and come down ladder, but they're just in a stalemate at the moment.
Took the word right out of my mouth there. This is a stalemate for sure. Finally, Forrest decides he's had enough of this. He's going to push towards the site. Obviously, time is a serious factor. 10 seconds left. Taz seemingly played this to absolute perfection up until that moment, but finally gets the headshot. Will keep VP in winning ways, but they lost 4 weapons. So you'll see coming into this round, their economy still not fantastic.
Yeah,
Max 7 actually.
You took the words right out of my mouth. They win the round, great. But it's actually going to turn into a punish if they can't string them together. And with losing 4 members, they've only got 2 really solid buys on Taz and Bialy. I mean, Neo only has 1 smoke, Pasha has a smoke and a flash and a shotgun, and Snacks only has a smoke. So they're going to run out of utility. It'll be very, very tough to stop some of these executes we're seeing NiP come out with.
So important that VP keep the wins going through here, and losing Taz in such an easy fashion, that is going to brutally hurt the chances of VP. 1 minute and 30, still so much time to play with. They can poke and probe and feel all they want right now, and VP have just got to try and react to it.
Well, look at what NiP is doing. They get that 1 pick, and now they're just going to slowly walk out upper. It's just a contact push at this inner bomb site. Neo is going to be in a very tough spot when he peeks over here, because NiP's already going to have the angles, and the timing is not working out in his favor whatsoever. Get Right's going to have such a wide angle on him. I don't think he spotted the head there. And there it is, Get Right, perfectly played. Molotov at a connector, that's gonna slow down the rotates. Smoke out as well. Virtus.pro, they can hold on in this round no longer.
Oh, it's just got a whole lot worse. Get Right will be taking one of the 3 remaining weapons away from VP. Their arsenal now is starting to look a little bit bare. Max 7 and M4. NiP will be briskly moving to an 8-2 lead on the T side of Train. This is after VP won the knife and elected to go CT. Everything is backfired for them.
This NiP at the moment that's playing looks so scary. You could see the team-wide game sense where we're actually having Freiburg, based on how the round has played out, turning into a lurker, turning into that lurk role on the other side of the map and able to find one. Now, Pasha has been discovered. Flash is out. That's a nice play from Pasha. And his reward there is to keep that AK-47 to the next one. But again, Virtus.pro reset economically. 1,400 on Neo, 1,400 on Snacks. I don't think they can really afford to double save, but they might have to.
I can't help but feel with that AK save just drop in the ocean at this point, though, Moses. Well, fair enough, you got an AK, but look at the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, when does the pause come in, though? You got to imagine Virtus.pro just says at their next gun round, okay, we have to win everything else.
That's exactly it, because they're quickly slipping away from this map. What I will say, though, they showed great resilience and tenacity on Cash. We thought they'd just bow out very easily, as Taz is going to get a trade frag. Snacks comes in with a P250, very solid with this weapon, but there's just too many angles to cover. There's too many AKs shooting him down. And now Pasha, a saved AK from last round on a P250, all that stands between NiP and a 9th round. Just delaying the inevitable here, VP, you've got to feel. Pasha is going to be getting around the back, potentially going through A main. But the aggression is already set in place over on the B side. Good luck to you, Bialy.
And this is just NiP being a little bit cruel. I mean, they're not taking any chances. They throw down the smokes, they throw down some utility, and they don't execute with it. They just slowly walk out. So Bialy has no idea what's going on. Now he's pushed out of position. He's going to catch one with his nade out. There's going to be a second NiP member there. Get Right gets the trade. Pasha, again, the lone member of Virtus.pro, does have that AK, but he's got nothing left to do in this round, and he's got to be able to save this gun moving forward.
Looking at the economy from NiP, got a couple of players who are very healthy in terms of money. They may think about chasing this one down, want to keep that away from Pasha. This would hurt them, hamper them into the next round. But yeah, I completely agree, Moses. When does that pause come in? After this round, potentially?
Yeah, you have to, maybe not even after this round, because they're going to have to save one more. And I mean, Neo and Taz are down at, I mean, unless they're essentially just saying Taz and Neo wouldn't be able to buy, because they did invest into pistols in this round. They invested about 600 each.
The issue is, though, that they're starting to run out of rounds on this half.
Right.
So I am definitely perplexed as to why we haven't already seen that tactical timeout come in, because they have been comprehensively outplayed thus far in this half. Looks like Pasha will at least save his AK. No pause comes in. As you said, VP don't have enough economy to get a decent buyout, so they will be tapping out again.
The trick is finding something to do around this AK-47. Where does Virtus.pro think they can put Pasha to at least see if he can, much like exists on Cash, see if he can get some kind of miracle play with that AK-47, or maybe find a kill that can salvage a weapon for a teammate. He needs to be the prong of this attack in this round for Virtus.pro.
Has been a very confident performance from NiP. Not much to get excited about from VP's perspective here, in all honesty. They've been battered and bruised. It has been a hard-fought war, and they've been on the receiving end of pretty much every single bullet that NiP have been firing out. So this round, again, is another one where VP going to be trying to channel her into NiP, trying to get their exist on. But Pasha, the wielder of the AK, is the first to fall. They will be able to salvage the AK, albeit through a bit of fire and flames. Byali eats a bit of damage for his troubles.
And look at NiP. They get that opening kill. Neo and Snacks rotate over to help Byali out, and Forrest and Freiburg have just disappeared. They're rotating back towards the inner site. They're going to pick up the bomb along the way. Exist and Get Right are just waiting to pounce at the center bomb site. Now Virtus.pro Kaiser has the indication this is coming. Byali's got to be a beast with this AK-47.
That's pretty much it. It's the only way the VP get anything out of this round. He has to step up huge. They do have a deagle in Snacks' hands as well. Very powerful, potent player with it. He's on the B side, holding an angle that allows him to use a deagle to its utmost efficiency. That really is only half the battle. Byali gets pressured out, and that's going to leave Taz on the site by himself. USP not going to pay off for it. Very difficult to get kills in that kind of situation. One of the deagles has gone, and also has the AK. All that remains is a deagle. It's not going to pull anything off for this round. NiP will take the 10-2 lead. Now VP, this is their last chance to get anything out of this half.
And still no pause, so they know exactly what they want to do into this round. You're exactly right. And the crowd knows it. The crowd knows the pressure is on Virtus.pro, and they're getting louder and louder.
The crowd wants blood.
NiP very quickly, an aggressive pace towards box halls. Taz, the only one at the center bomb site. He's known for being one of the best defenders in the world of this site, but if you were watching just this match, you wouldn't think so, because he has been exposed by NiP. Neo has just come in to rotate. All 5 members, there's no map control for NiP. This has got to be a mid or late round hit onto the inner bomb site, because there's no presence in Ivy, there's no presence in mid. And it's gonna come quick because they know the flank possibility is high, and here they come.
Nades coming out, Taz on the site, gonna have to lock this down for his team. First kill out, does do significant damage towards Get Right, who will fall down from Neo's hands, and Byali as well. VP finally getting some kills together. Is it gonna be enough though? A 2-1-3, NiP still have Pit and Forrest in play. Forrest has been a bit of a man mountain with that AWP recently. Pit gets caught unawares, completely bombed down. This could be Forrest's moment to strike. Misses the first shot, that could be so crucial. He may not get another opportunity. He did actually tag the player, and Byali goes for the knife. What is happening? Doesn't quite pay out for a NiP, but jeez, bomb is gonna get defused.
Yeah, Forrest doing everything he can there, trying to get aggressive to find an opening kill to bring that down into a 1-on-2, but a nice hold from Virtus.pro. This time, Byali gets 2 on the rotate. Taz and Neo were the initial defenders, and they find 1 each, so it kind of takes out the teeth of that attack. But so much money built up on the NiP side, they have no issue buying out for these last 2 rounds. Double ops out for Virtus.pro. They salvage Forrest. That's gonna be on Snacks and Pasha.
Very rich ninjas at this point are the Swedes. VP, double up setup. We'll have to see if this works out for them. Jeez, you guys are awesome, by the way. Pasha can be peeking up with that AWP, though.
Yeah, this angle. This is a 1-and-done, and although he actually does damage to Freiburg through the body of Exist, there's a Molotov out to allow Get Right to get close up, but Snack stands in it, finds the kill. Big advantage now for Virtus.pro.
Got to capitalize on this. It's all well and good getting the opening picks, but what do you do with that advantage? Time and time again, we've seen them do nothing. 2 players on Ivy, Pit in Pop Dog. Smoke's going to keep them at bay for now, as will the smoke on Ivy for Forrest and Freiburg. But again, a lot of time to play with. This early aggression, although it paid out for VP, they've got to be very wary here, Moses. They can't rest.
And NiP is very much spread out on the map right now. Pit down ladder, Freiburg over towards Ivy. Force lining up flashbangs for him. This has got to be some individual duels won, and Freiburg cannot initiate. He's got 14 HP. He's got to hope that Pit finds something, and it's not going to happen. Snacks get that kill, which means Bialy's attention is not taken away from Ivy. So now it's on Forrest. He's got to be the next one up. Freiburg trying to do something, but no HP, and Snacks finds Forrest. So a 4th round for Virtus.pro now. They've at least found a couple rounds at the end here. They finally string 2 together, by the way. And they do it without taking a pause.
Yeah, maybe saving that pause for the T side. I mean, normally you'd think 5 rounds on the CT side of train wouldn't be enough, or you'd be really pushing it, but it is VP. They can get that pistol, they can bounce right back into this. But again, NiP are going to be fully equipped. More standard play this time around. Pop flash actually lands in Exist's face, but that was pretty much for Pit to just peek down ramp with. No one was home though for VP.
Yeah, and this is much more passive from NiP. They have taken control of box halls, and what this does, essentially, it's not meant to find any kills or anything like that, but it brings Neo over from the A bomb site. If there's no presence in those box halls, Taz never calls for a rotate. So now that he's seen a couple members of NiP, they've got to be honest and have 2 members here to help guard upper and lower, because they have been abused there in the past. This is going to be an execute that Virtus.pro hasn't seen in a while in this half. This was very popular from NiP at the beginning of the half, but they've since gone away from it. But here it comes one more time. Can Virtus.pro now stop it? They struggled earlier. Bialy finds the edge of the smoke. He gets 1 kill, but there's Freiburg on the trade.
A good trade out for Freiburg. Oh, Pasha around from the back. Snacks picks up the kill right underneath his nose, and Pasha with a double spray. We'll get the bomb dropped in no man's land. Now it's down to Forrest. 2 frags for Forrest, looking for a 3rd one, can't get it done. Too many members to face off against. VP will bring it back to 5-10.
Took a while for that Virtus.pro defense to really kind of show up in this, but we saw it there in the last few rounds. This especially is just that suffocating defense. Running down the train lanes, multiple members, Bialy and Pasha, unable to find some of these kills, and even at the end in this 3-on-1 essentially, Forrest gets a couple kills, but there's just too many players. No one from Virtus.pro is holding back. No one's giving him time to reset, find cover, so they do eventually get their 5.
One point I'd like to raise as well, Moses, the kill spread between top and bottom of NiP is 4. Get Right's on 14, Pit is bottom fragging on his team with 10. Everybody is pulling their weight. Whereas on VP, Neo is on 3 for 13, Snacks is 13-11. You see the vast difference between the 2 teams. Like, everyone is pulling their fair share of weight over on the NiP side.
Yes, but we are, I mean, that's interesting and everything, but we're going to actually send it down to Paula, who's on the floor, to talk us through some of this halftime.
That is right, Jason. Now, part of what I do is to be impartial, but part of the job of the crowd isn't quite that. When you're in Sweden, there's one team that everybody knows and loves. Who's rooting for the Ninjas? Am I not going out in the... I don't think I'm actually going out in the stadium right now. So, thank you very much. The crowd is going absolutely wild right now. And so, keep it up and keep supporting, and we'll see what happens in the rest of this match.
We can do it for you, Paula. What he was saying is that when you're in Sweden, you don't have to be partial. He wants to hear the crowd get loud for NiP. Here they are, Virtus.pro running right at him, down the lanes. They've taken good control. NiP not committing to anything. They have control of Outback. They have 1 member in Connector as well. So actually, Bialy and Taz almost don't know what to do here. They haven't encountered anyone just yet. So where do they go from here? They're trying to pressure everywhere. The bomb is still above ladder. There's Exist, opens things up. There is 1 member inside still, but he's not going to see action. The rest of Virtus.pro decide to come out to this free bomb site, get the plant down.
This is such a massive round though for VP if they want to try and get themselves back into this game right here, right now. The man-on-man duel will go the way of Get Right, but it was labored. Better late than never though. Snacks and Neo stand tall. There was actually a team kill as well just beforehand from Get Right, and now it's all on Neo. He gets picked off. NiP will win themselves the 2nd pistol round, and they're looking to cruise towards a 2-0, but VP, they are going to have a lot of aces up their sleeves here on the T side.
This is a little bit, I was going to say it's a little bit scary for Virtus.pro. Now it's really scary because that comeback on Cash, they at least 1 pistol in the 2nd half. NiP with a massive lead here, and the question is, with this plant, does Virtus.pro want to buy up here? And they are. And this is a pretty cool buy. Dropping an AK-47 over to Snacks. The rest of everyone will be on Tech 9s. You see Neo without armor. He's the selfless one of the team. But it's going to be all on Snacks to find some kind of opening for his squad.
Crucial. Every single round from this point on for VP, they are not afforded any more mistakes. Snacks is going to get smoked out, decides to try and push it just for a second or so. Eating a bit of damage himself, will decide to back on off. Quite a bit of damage has been done onto NiP though. Forest feels the effects. Sub 50 health. Exist also 18 worth, but no early kills.
The key thing is, you notice Forest goes and gets aggressive towards T-Choke, but once again, we've seen this out of NiP. They're not committing to these early fights. They have the intel now. There's an AK out on board, so they know it's a buy up. Forest at the bomb site, watching for anyone to come out ladder, and Virtus.pro is just poised to explode. 3 members down ladder, going to come out of ladder room. Pasha at the edge of alley. He gets taken out by Get Right, but now there's the pressure from Snacks. Pit is going to be the next one to see action. He's right behind Blue Train.
What Pit does from this position could mean everything for this round for NiP, and he's playing it smart right now. There we go, he's going to get the drop. We'll pick up the kill into Neo. Second frag comes through as well. But Virtus.pro have bounced back with a vengeance. That AK is doing work. Here comes the Tech 9. Does land a dink. This is getting a bit rough right now for NiP. Snacks, an absolute monster on the side of VP, has a 1v2 ahead of him. 27 seconds, a bomb dropped on the wrong side of the bomb as far as he's concerned. He has a flashbang still, and very nearly catches a glimpse of that first play. He's gonna have to start to get a move on right now. Gonna be doing it behind the flashbang. Here we go. Can Snacks pick it off for his team? The first kill goes his way. 10 seconds left. He's gonna have to charge down Freiburg. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. He has to land this frag, and Freiburg stands tall. And you can see how much that means to Forest and the rest of NiP. They just about dodge a bullet.
A huge round, and in a tense situation, Freiburg has to decide whether he takes the fight or tries to play the time. But with the clock running down, Snacks is forced into an awkward situation. And the NiP fans, the stadium, they could all feel it.
Absolutely nuts. Imagine how loud they're going to be if we do have a Swedish semi-final. That guarantees the Swedish team in the finals if NiP can convert from 12-5. This is going to be a clear-cut round, you have to feel. It's going to be lambs to the slaughter. Freiburg is there. 4-man spray down. Forest will stop him from getting the ace, but he's not going to give a damn. Virtus.pro into another buy-up round, but they have to start winning some of these.
It's all on this round. This is the last chance they have to get into it. 5 AK-47, still no pause out for Virtus.pro. Defensive chance coming out from the crowd here at DreamHack Masters. Fast-paced from Virtus.pro, but the utility of NiP is going to slow it down. Molotov and T-Connector forces everything back by Bialy. There goes Pit, and Get Right falls as well.
Much better from VP, although hyper-aggressive from NiP, who again stuck with the SMGs. Forrest still has his MP9, his trusty MP9 close range, and makes it work. Snacks is going to bounce back with a kill. VP still have a glimmer of hope in this round. They have the player advantage. Exist has his scope trained on Ivy, but his partner in crime of Forest has been put 6 foot under. Here comes Exist. First kill goes down. Needs to be careful. There's another player peeking, peering up Ivy. He's playing the slow game. He's about to get aggressed on. Bialy will land the headshot. VP have finally got themselves a rifle round.
And NiP is actually the one who's very, very hurt in terms of their money. And they did win 3 in a row, but they're very low right now. You see Shotgun comes out, UMP as well. 3 M4s though on Exist, Freiburg, and Forest. Where do they take these? Freiburg and Forest are going to come out connector. And actually a lot of Virtus.pro looks like they're 2. Bialy and Pasha streaming down towards Ivy. They're going to challenge Exist again. This time it's not supposed to be as fast-paced. Get Right, though, behind this smoke. Is he going to get spotted out? There is an AWP on Snacks. He's got to be careful, but this angle could be devastating for Taz. And actually, there's Exist, and there it is. Get Right takes off his head. 5-on-3 advantage now for NiP.
Riddles his head with bullets. That's going to leave a mark. And just when I was about to say that NiP's economy is in such a bad position, this is VP's chance. NiP locking out again. Get right finally gets picked off, but he's done his job. Here comes a spray, not gonna happen for Freiburg. It's a 2-on-3, just the UMP in the hands of Pit. Not a huge amount of utility for NiP as well.
Pasha is just so far away. And Pit has the angle. He pushed up mid with the UMP, catches him off guard. Neo, 1-on-3, gets the bomb planted at least at the inner sight. What can he do? He is spotted out. They know exactly where he is now. Flash into the sky. Forrest is gonna get aggressive, and there it is. Exist finds it. Much like the first half, Virtus.pro cannot string two together. And they are on the verge of collapse.
Makes for very sad reading when you have a look at the scoreboard for Virtus.pro. Snacks on 19. Nearest player on his team is Taz with 10. He must be feeling very lonely right about now. It's just him really getting the frags, and now VP, as you can see, had a decision to make. Did they want to go for the force buy? Yes, they do.
They have to
include 3 Tech 9s and 2 AKs.
Yeah, they have to this far down. They need to go on a run at some point if they want to catch up and try and make a comeback. And to let NiP get up towards 15 when you have so many to go is just not possible. That leaves you no mistakes. And here comes an execution, hoping these smokes can at least cover him to see if they can wrap around and explode onto this defense. Although not too utilized at the moment.
VP on life support right here. Desperately need somebody to step up big, somebody to get an entry. Pasha and Neo both with the AKs. Leaving Snacks, who is top ranking on a Tech 9, but he is just as prolific with that weapon. Slow play for VP. They do have the utility to set up for a set play onto the A site, which looks to be where they're going for this one right now. This is going to allow the Tech 9s to get up in the face of NiP. Here we go. How is the crossfire? How is the defense going to look for NiP? This could be pretty much game, set, and match if they can hold this one off, but Neo is out first and will be picking himself at the frag. Dali as well. Exist at least answers back, and he is able to get himself into a solid position. This bomb now, traversing its way onto the site, should be planted in a few more seconds. Exist has gone down. Just the max 7 for Get Right remains. And VP look like they are going to stick in this match for 1 round longer at least.
Yeah, they've done it. A delayed execution at that outer bomb site, and NiP cannot find any of the initial kills. The Tech 9s are able to swarm over the bomb site. So they do eventually outlast NiP in this one. Get Right with the shotgun, forced to just fall back in a CT spawn. This is the economy. The bank of NiP is now completely used up. Pit and Forrest are going to have, the money for a pretty decent buy in the next round, but everyone else, it's going to force NiP back onto a save more than likely. They have a lot of rounds to play with.
Yep.
No reason to force the issue with the economy now. Play it a little bit conservative, build up money, make sure you have a strong buy the next time around.
Have a 7-round buffer, so no point in force buying and potentially eating away at that buffer by being greedy. So yeah, I feel like NiP will be taking the safe option here. This does give VP a chance to start to get that momentum back under their own belt, though. See if they can start to get the rounds to come in thick and fast. This should be a comfortable round, you'd have to say.
You never know. We saw
That's
on Cash.
Oh, okay then. Get Right just got shanked by his teammate. Why not?
That is not good because he's got the armor and the M4.
What? Scumbag.
Who was it?
Teammate. Was it Forrest, I think?
I think so.
Yeah. He's known for being a bit of a troll, but come on. That's a step too far. They've just crippled the one guy that could have got this round for you. They still have a Deagle, though. It's important to mention on Pit. He hasn't really been setting the world on fire for me, at least in this match. But he's been doing the work when he's had himself in the right positions. That being said, VP looking to play it slow and steady once more.
Well, they know this is a low econ buy for NiP. They know they've been facing shotguns and UMPs even over the course of this win streak from NiP, so making sure they don't get caught off guard by anything. At the moment, NiP, they're playing this as an inner stack. Exist, Pit, and Freiburg all playing at the inner bomb site. There's Forrest at the bottom of the ladder. He falls to Neo. And Neo's actually going to continue to probe a little bit at this outer bomb site. Pasha finds Freiburg, who gets aggressive. That keeps Exist and Pit at the inner site. Get Right with the M4 still outside. Exist gets one. Can he get a second? No. Pasha's going to clear out the inner site. Get Right lurking. He can't even find one either, and it was Forrest with the assist. So 14-8, NiP with a big lead, but still one more round. They're gonna, oh no, excuse me, they're gonna buy into this one. So they, once again, get right, comfortable on the Mag 7. Freiburg on the FAMAS, 3 M4s beside it. Decent utility as well. They at least have 5 smokes and they have 1 kit.
Yeah, I've already seen Get Right pushing up through ramp and getting himself a couple of kills from that position. Very capable of doing that again. That flash lands in the face of 2 VP players who were looking to get aggressive. Stops them dead in their tracks for now. NiP, though, they did commit fully into this round, so if they lose this, then it is maybe another gateway for VP to get themselves back into this game.
Oh, Get Right not prepared for Neo's position. Gets caught off guard there. Neo is just waiting for that play. So Get Right is punished. Freiburg now the lone man at this B bomb site. That's gonna, look at this. They lose map control inner. Force and Pit start pushing up into the mid connector. They gain map control elsewhere. Now they have a really clever angle. It's gonna be a little bit scary for Virtus.pro if they do want to execute at the outer bomb site because Force and Pit have just fallen right out of connector. So Snacks and Bialy probably feel like they're gonna have to use a lot of utility to clear this out. That's gonna buy time for NiP to figure out what's going on.
Man, they've already chunked down to just 2 Molotovs now at their disposal. Neo is going to get himself the first kill. Forrest with 2, answers right back, exists on top of the train, drops down, headshots, and finishes off Pasha. A great passage of play for NiP. 2 AKs remain, though, for VP, and healthy AKs. Bialy is there to silence Forrest. Bomb will be getting planted. Exist slightly tagged, just a FAMAS in the hands of Freiburg. In this kind of position, you've got to favor VP to be in the driver's seat. The spray's not quite on point. Exist goes down, looking good for VP. Unless Freiburg has something to say about it. Still has an incendiary to use if he so chooses. Darting to his left-hand side, he should be able to get the drop here onto Bialy. Actually decides to have a quick peek and see who the second player is. That will cost him his life, but he didn't have that many other options, in fairness.
Yeah, no, he didn't have a kit, so he knew essentially he wouldn't be able to play the game of faking the bomb and trying to find out that last member. So wanted to get both kills, but Bialy's not going to be looking away for too long. So he does find that back onto the pistols for NiP, much like Cash. Virtus.pro clawing themselves back into this game, inching ever closer to tying up the scoreline. It's 9-14 right now, still a ways to go, but NiP still hasn't had a solid buy in some time. These buys that are coming out as this losing bonus builds up, they're light on utility. They had a shotgun that round, they had a FAMAS, no kits, so a lot of these buys have really limited NiP's options. It's going to be less and less of a factor. They now have 3 rounds of a losing bonus. They have plenty of money in the next round to have whatever they need.
The pressure will be mounting, as it did on Cash. You saw the expressions, the likes of Threat, when they were getting those very close clutches. The size of relief were palpable, and now NiP have conceded another bomb plant. Upgraded pistols, the order of the day. A Deagle in the hands of Freiburg. Can they get a kill back onto the site? Snacks using the AK close range. Flash goes through, still gets the spray onto 2 players. Trying to transfer to a third. Exist looks for the AK, that's going to cost him his life, and now Forrest with the CZ. He's not going to get anything done. NiP will concede a 10th round now.
And all M4s. Oh, Pit picks up the AWP right at the end. It's Glass Cannon, no armor behind it. He's going to be doing up against Snacks, who was winning that battle consistently in map 1. But now NiP's got to get back on the board. It's been 4 straight for Virtus.pro. They have plenty of money built up after this winning streak to be able to sustain any losses. Starting to catch a little bit of momentum here. Pit, he sees the barrel. He knows what's coming. Actually, there's a clever vertical angle he's have to worry about. He misses the jump shot. Very, very close. Gonna get on top of the train now and challenge at a new angle. Forrest takes 10 damage for that little hop.
It's been pretty crazy reaction speed if Pit had landed that shot, though. Just narrowly missing out. Exist. Molotov right next to him, forces him to relocate slightly. Forrest will be pushing up on the train. Aggressive plays from NiP. And Forrest only nearly gets rewarded for his efforts. 1 kill goes down, and a second as well. And a third through the box, into the head of Snacks. Single-handedly making VP disappear. NiP magic is real, and the rest of them have fallen down as well. NiP take the 5-round lead. VP get decimated. Their economy is good enough to get another decent buyout, though.
What an incredible sequence from Forrest. This takes such good discipline and aim. That is so sick. Forrest single-handedly just destroys Virtus.pro in that round. double op setup now for Virtus.pro. This time they're gonna go for some picks. Molotov into the choke point though. Snax is more than willing to stand on that and try and find a fight. It's not gonna happen. Oh, he does see Pit. Pit cannot see over the flames and he falls. A 5-on-4 advantage for Virtus.pro.
Good start. You have to rinse and repeat though. NiP will be feeling confident after that last round, especially Forrest, who's still alive and kicking on 100% of his health. Pasha gets flashbanged, which is smart from NiP, because if he didn't flash that, Pasha would have definitely had that kill. Now looking to try and brute force their way through onto a site, VP, but playing it smart for now. 2 plays going down Pop Dog, 2 through IV. Pasha taking point for his team with one of the AWPs.
And there's no utility left. Oh, Freiburg, this could be perfect timing. The smoke slows him down a little bit. It gets that kill, so does Exist. Bringing this back to even. Bialy trades off. It's down to a 3-on-3. Bialy's extremely low. They know he's an outback. GetRight's about to have an issue, but he uses that Molotov just now, delays him a little longer. He's gonna fall back to get a new position so he can at least buy time for the rotation. Look at VP here. This is a fake execute towards the inner site. They have pulled Forrest away. Freiburg, though, is still waiting. He hasn't bought it quite yet. Looking for the Bialy, and he finds him there. Smart play from Freiburg. Flashes out. He knows what's coming, and now he's got to wait for teammates to rotate over on top of the train, though. Using this positioning so well. But that timing doesn't work, and Freiburg, he falls to Taz.
VP 2v2 now. 17 seconds left. They're going to be getting the plant. The backside of the site. Snax is looking. Forrest will be picking up 1 kill. And it's the sniper contest. Snax versus Forrest. Forrest has been in pretty crazy form recently. But Snax has been landing some big shots as well, trying to play the mind games. Molotov thrown down. Now Forrest is going to look to push his way through. Snax going to be peeking out, lands the shot, and Forrest goes down. VP survive 1 of those 5 match points. NiP's economy again in tatters.
It's that same hard reset, although fortunately the last round they won, they had all 5 members survive, so you can see just by the money in the bank, that, I mean, the next round is gonna be fine. No matter what the losing bonus is. Pit's gonna be a little bit weakened. He's only got 1,600 this time, but the rest of them should have a very, very solid buy, but still. Virtus.pro just making it so difficult to end this. There's Snax with an opening kill, and he's gonna get a second one as well. He's just come alive here in this map. Pit is getting sprayed down from far away, and it's just down to GetRight. So it's gonna be 12-15. Virtus.pro inching closer and closer. These terror sides have been dominant.
It really has been a game of T dominance the entirety of this best of 3 so far. And it doesn't look like it's going to slow anytime soon, but NiP have another buy. Here comes an AWP for Pit. Rest of the team following up with M4s, decent grenades. They do lack any incendiaries though. Whereas VP 5 mollies, standard utility setup.
I mean, this has been the theme though, on this defense for NiP. They haven't, some of these buys, they just haven't had a lot of utility, and we talked about it. So tough to stop Virtus.pro on train when you don't have the Molotovs, the smokes, and nades to use. And NiP just consistently, they haven't been able to build up any money on this CT side. VP's been doing a very good job despite the massive disparity during this comeback. They've been keeping the economy low. Now we have a situation, GetRight playing very passively towards the inner site, hasn't called a teammate over to help. Freiburg is just now gonna rotate. But Virtus.pro is prepared to put pressure all across the map.
Yeah, player and Ivy really trying to keep a couple players interested as the smoke comes down. Exist is going to hold his position for now. 4 players situated over towards the B side. One of which is starting to wrap his way through the team main side. So keeping NiP guessing, but Moses, Snax has already taken quite a bit of damage himself. So VP not in a great position right now.
Well, he's the AWP. He can stay far back during any kind of an execute. He can stay along the wall and just hold angles much like he did on Cash, but this looks like at the end game is going to be an inner hit. It's going to be GetRight and Freiburg who have got to mount the initial defense. There's Pit. He misses the shot, though. A very, very slow peek from Pasha. Flashbangs from GetRight. He could get caught out, though. He's at a weird angle. He does get traded off. Freiburg is next. He gets Snax. He's got to hold strong a little bit longer over by High Train. There's the rotation. Forrest with one more. This is looking likely for NiP until Bialy silences Exists. But still, far back, 20 seconds left. The bomb is not planted yet. All of NiP is here. They're getting aggressive, but Bialy's holding him back.
2v2. Here comes the next frag. This time it's for Forrest. He's going to be going out into the open. He gets picked up from Pasha. 10 seconds. Bomb is going to get planted. And it's the AWP v AWP confrontation. Again, Pit's been missing a lot of shots. This is his way to make amends from those previous mistakes. He lands the shot in the backside of Pasha. And that will be NiP moving through to the semi-finals to face off against Godsent.
Ridiculous performance from NiP. This team that Threat has been molding, we saw potential in Katowice. We saw some of the strengths without their full lineup at MLG, and here in their home country, they're showing what they can be.
For the second time today, the Swedish crowd have something very big to celebrate. That should be a cracking semi-finals. We will definitely have a Swedish team in the finals.
Yes.
That has been confirmed now.
It's such a good matchup of legends, of players who have been playing each other for so incredibly long, teams that have so much respect for each other. NiP is going to come out on top of this one, at least, though, to the delight of the crowd.
They're just a bit happy. I don't know if you can hear them. Standing ovation right now for NiP, it would appear.
Yes.
Everyone across the
full arena
audience.
Standing ovation.
But we do have an interview with Freiburg, who played very well. He's with Smix. Take it away.
Freiburg, at the first significant LAN in Sweden in 2016, NiP are in the top 4. It does not get better than this.
I don't even hear what you say.
It said this is the first significant tournament where we have in Sweden in 2016, and you guys, NiP, are in the top 4. That's an amazing storyline.
Of course, I mean, our goal with this tournament is to win, of course. And I mean, at least we'll have one Swedish team in the final now with Godsent playing tomorrow. So super good feeling. I love the guys here as well. It's such a great atmosphere in this crowd.
Well, it seems like they love you too, based off of their cheering, but let's talk about those maps. Obviously, Cache is a map you guys have shown time and time again is a very, very strong map for you guys. Talking about Train, which is Virtus.pro's map choice, historically one of their best maps, you guys seemed incredibly prepared and like you had a clear game plan headed into that map.
Yeah, I mean, Cache is our go-to map right now. We feel very confident on it. So we just kept playing our game. We didn't care much about how they played. We just executed our gameplay, and I think it worked out really great. Train, we know that they're very strong on Train. They like their fast rounds. But I mean, our T side on Train was very, very, very good against them. We got 10 T rounds. That's more what you can ask for. So super happy about the result. I mean, it was a lot of close rounds that we lost and won some. So overall, great performance by our team, I think.
Now, speaking of the performance by your team at this tournament in general, you guys started off day one with a really rough loss, 16-2 against Dignitas, but since then, it's just been a climb up and up. You had the win over Lounge Gaming, and the impressive 2-1 victory over Astralis, the top 4 team, and today, here against VP, you show a very dominant 2-0 performance. I think it is safe to say this is the best NiP has looked in a really long time.
For sure, and I mean, it's all been down to Threat, and he's changing all our gameplay. I mean, you gotta be honest, he changed a lot with our play, and also Pith, he's been playing so great all matches, and he's doing a lot for the team. He's a great guy to have in the team, so we're super happy, and we have a very good atmosphere in the team right now, which we're happy about.
And now, it would be a shame if I didn't give you a chance to say something to all the fans here in Malmö that have been cheering so hard. They've been rocking their arena. I can feel the vibrations of the whole building shake. So please, a word for your fans.
Tack så jättemycket för alla kom hit. Jag hoppas att ni är här imorgon också, och vi ska fan ta hem guldet alltså. Forza NiP! Woo!
And with that, the perfect storyline for all of you fans here in Malmö, Sweden continues as NiP moves on to the semifinals.
Guaranteed Swedish presence in the grand finals of DreamHack Masters Malmö. It's a pretty cool story right there, as of course NiP and Godsent will be meeting tomorrow over on Sunday. The arena, I have no doubt, will be equally, if not more loud during that game, and of course the one before that. Gentlemen, we're going to be trying to talk through this one. I've got Thorin, Yanko, and Faflaren for this one. Gentlemen, we talked about 4 for 4, Duncan. The dream is not to be. The dream is not to be. And you put faith in the plow. Unfortunately, that plow had a couple of technical difficulties on Train.
I mean, it was still there on T-side. That's what was amazing about these two maps. It was just a battle of the T-sides.
Yeah.
Like, every time NiP took these huge leads on their T-side, you could never really know what was going to happen in the actual map, though, because then Virtus.pro came back with their own. But in the end, I think ultimately what gave NiP the victory is On CT side, they just had some clutch individual plays on like the big rounds. When it got really tight late in the game, there'd be like one player who'd get like an early pick or would get like the key double kill, and that always seemed to turn it. And that actually is kind of like classic NiP style. That is like the NiP magic of last year of old.
And also I feel like a broken record a bit, but I can't emphasize enough what good anti-force by an anti-eco play from NiP allows this team to do, right? It's not just about them winning those rounds, it's that they barely lose any people during that, right? So what happened on Cash is they're up 3-0, they lose the first round flawlessly for VP, and VP actually wins 3 rounds in a row, but every time still NiP has enough money to buy, not just buy, but have a healthy buy, mostly AKs, all of the grenades and so on. And ultimately, they managed to actually break VP's economy. So it's something that just allows you to, even if you lose the round, you can go for X. Like we saw it at first gun round. NiP just went for a pop flash, really fast play towards B, wanted to catch VP off guard. It didn't work, but they could get away with it because they had such a good economy earlier on.
And that restraint is new, and that restraint is, of course, part and parcel of this new edition threat. We've been hyping him up on the desk, and actually I'm sure he's probably got a whole lot of hype flowing through his veins as he's standing by with Parla. We get to hear from the coach himself. Parla, he looked pretty much relieved being the primary expression on Threat's face during that one.
Thank you very much, Alex, and I am indeed with Threat. You are over the moon right now. We just spoke about it. What are the emotions going through you?
I'm just very relieved. We got a really good start on that second map, but we started losing rounds there in the end. And that last one we won, I thought I was going to get a heart attack. It was terrible.
You said to me that it's almost harder to watch these clutch situations and watch in general as opposed to actually playing. How does that work?
It's kind of like when you're playing, you're in the performance, right? So you're so focused in performing. But when I'm calling, it's more, I say like, okay, let's do this. And then I just have to watch like everything unfold. So it's just, that last one we won, Pit versus Pasha, I didn't even watch the monitor. I just waited for the screams.
Well, you know, talking about things that have been unfolding in-game, a lot of that surely at the moment is down to you and your brain, because since you've come in, the team has been looking like they've been improving. What's currently the structure, you know, practice-wise? What's the input that you're having specifically without revealing all the secrets?
Well, when I came in, I basically started fresh. I made all new strats, made all the new default rounds, and I just tried to get the guys to play more disciplined, because everyone that's watched NiP in the past knows that players like GetRight and Forest, they tend to be a bit over-aggressive from time to time, so I'm just standing there with my stick, hitting them when they're being too aggressive, and I think we have a lot more discipline now.
We'll look out for the stick in the booth tomorrow. Pit, the newest addition to the roster, other than technically yourself, who was playing in the last big tournament that you were in. Pit, you know, what do you think of this guy? What do you think of how he's playing, and how is he fitting into the NiP mold?
Well, he's a very new player. He's a very unexperienced player, but I think he's doing really well considering his inexperience. So out of all the players in the team, I think he's the one that can grow the most. He's probably the one with the most potential of becoming a better player. So if he just plays more tournaments, I think he can actually become the best player in the team.
Wow, that's huge praise coming from you, the coach. Now, what about with regards to the way you guys are playing at the moment? What do you think is the thing that is most improved on your team over the last couple of months, or at least since you've joined?
I think it's our anti-force buy. I mean, so many teams still lose to CZs and Scouts, and I think we have a sick record when it comes to the anti-force buy. I think we maybe win definitely over 90%. So I would say we're probably the best team in the world right now at playing those rounds, and I think that's the main thing that makes us win these games.
Something that me and Alex were talking about backstage, upstairs in Twitch, wonderful view of this amazing crowd, by the way, was that it seems to be that you guys' money management is at an all-time high. And is that something to do with you? Is that something that you've been focusing on, controlling the economy, making sure that you're not losing guns needlessly?
Yeah, since I am in the coach role, I can always look, press tab, I see everyone's money, I can always tell them, okay, in this situation, I think it's better if you save, and they always listen to me. So in that regard, being a player, you don't always see everything. So just having a coach, being in coach mode, managing the economy is just way better than not having one.
All right, moving on to a couple last questions. Godsent tomorrow, Swedish Civil War. What's going on with this match?
I think it's going to be a really tough game. We've struggled a lot with them on practice. So, to be honest, it's anyone's game. We're gonna go back, watch some demos, try to focus, try to think about the map veto, but I think we're gonna manage to win it.
All right, well, we'll see. It's going to be an absolutely amazing match. Final thoughts, what's your prediction for Na'Vi versus NV?
I think Na'Vi's gonna win 2-0.
All right, well, there we go. We are done with Threat and done with the interviews for today. What an amazing match to finish off on. And for now, we're going to head back to Alex and the guys on the desk.
Thanks very much, Parla. Good to hear from the man himself. We've been hyping him up all this time, and it does seem like he has a lot of similar feelings to us. Janko, just to close on that point you were making beforehand, it seems like Threat has basically reiterated everything you've been saying off-air about their kind of management of their economy.
I mean, it is pretty obvious that they are the best team in the world in those anti-force by anti-eco rounds. And the thing is, it's not something incredibly that he reinvented the game and did something incredible. It's just what he said, disciplined play, and that they have a clear game plan and a clear idea what they want to do when it comes to those rounds. Because most of the time, everyone who's played, it's an anti-eco round, especially if they are not even on a force, but if they only have like USPs, maybe a P250, you're thinking, oh, all those sweet frags.
Especially Get Frag.
Sweet
I mean, Get Frag's one of the most famous eco cobras of all time.
I'm sorry.
He's going ham.
I'm sorry. Happy plays for enemy.
And he's terrible at it. So that's what I'm saying. The fact that he's managed to rein Get Right in a little bit on those runs is really big, actually.
So, players sometimes get carried away with it, go for kills, and, it's not worth it. Even if you get 3 kills, but you die.
What does that mean? Yeah, exactly.
And if you could get 1 kill and get away with it, and your team still wins the round, that's always the better solution, because the economy is really, really a big part of the game when it comes to these tier 1
Of course,
teams.
for VP, the snacks thing. We saw the expression on his face
yeah.
at the end of train.
Understandably so, though. He had like 30 kills or something. He was hard carrying the game. And that's the thing about this series. It's a 2-0, but these were really close maps overall. Like when you got down to the nitty-gritty, NiP was feeling the pressure at the end there. So, I mean, Snacks played an incredible series overall.
There he is.
I mean, look, he had almost the most kills in the whole series. So, and he was on the losing team that didn't win a map.
That train game as well, like that, you actually had a pretty bold prediction coming into the second half of train. You believed that comeback was more than viable. Where did that belief come from? Was that just a kind of a bit of a jokey prediction, or was there some real kind of...
No, I mean, as you
belief?
saw on the first map on Cash, which wasn't even one of the VP maps, they're really good on T-side. And more importantly, if you'd looked throughout the tournament so far, NiP's done nearly all of their work on T-side. Actually, on the CT side is where we've seen a few of the shaky moments.
Yeah,
I mean, even against Astralis, who were obviously having their own internal issues, there were still those rounds where NiP was losing them, they lost the pistol round, and they were in these precarious situations, and it took like hero players to get them out of it. So on the CT side, it's true, the anti-force buy play is definitely helping them a lot. It's putting them in like an economical position to make up for mistakes, but most of their work's being done on T-side at the moment.
And now, Robin, for NiP, this is definitely, I mean, undoubtedly the best form we've seen them in for a very long time. It must be quite nice to see your old boys kind of returning to their form.
I mean, considering that they actually stuck by the team for this long after having no results whatsoever ever since Assembly last year, and that was a very minor tournament. I mean, yeah, of course I'm going to be happy for them. They've put down a lot of time through thick and thin, and now they're here with Threat, and they're possibly going to play another final.
And that's where we're going next. Possibly going to play another final, of course. Before we do get there, we've actually got a couple of moments to break down. It's just one for this time, Janko?
Just one.
What have you got for us?
I have it's actually a situation from Cash that is maybe a good example of how NiP have, and what Threat brings to the team maybe, and how their game has evolved in that time. So this is pretty late into the half. It's round number 13, and you can see that NiP is set up for a set smoke execute towards the B bomb site. And early on in the half, they've been putting a lot of pressure towards the B bomb site, smoking this entrance here all the time, throwing a Molotov into checkers, basically forcing VP players to react either by pushing through the smoke, maybe trying to get a kill, or what they managed to do here actually is force them to play more back into the site towards CT spawn, or to force them basically to contain them to the site itself, right? And what that enables them to do in turn is go for this exact set strat where they will smoke off CT, they will Molotov the default spot, maybe the try box here, and they also throw a Molotov in checkers so that if someone is there, can't just get out and peek towards them. So we can play it out now so you guys see how it looks. Getright is actually the first guy going in, and he gets both kills here as well, but it's just, you know, even Neo tries to throw a smoke on the default plant because he was burning inside of a Molotov, but then his vision gets obstructed a bit when he jumps down into headshot. So you can pause it here. So we can see here what I was talking about. The Molotov was here as well, but Neo threw a smoke. You have 2 Molotovs in checkers so that the CT players can't really peek, and they just stormed the site really efficiently. And even if there were 2 players in the bomb site, the only positions they could play is this box, which will be checked, and somewhere around this box. So similar to the Inferno strat with Molotovs on the B bomb site as well, this strategy like this allows you to limit the spots where the CTs can be, so it makes your entrance into the bomb site much easier, and it was another pretty clean and straightforward round for NiP.
See, that seems terrifying to me, right? Like, that kind of scares me. What's the counterplay to someone just completely carpet bombing your site with mollies? You just smoke yourself out. You play for retake. What are we saying?
Well,
here?
you either have to counter it early on by going for that maybe push with the AWP, something that let's say Fox from FaZe tries to do a lot. I think that even in one round VP did it here earlier in the half and got a kill on Snags, but was traded. So it's either trying to disrupt that before they set it up, or it has to be just giving control of the site and then going for a retake, which is pretty difficult on the B bomb site. And the last thing is you try to hit a timing, let's say on A main, you flash yourself in, so you get information that they're setting up for that, and maybe you get a quick flank, so you can go for a quick retake.
And with that said, our final game of our 4th day is done. We have to go ahead and remind ourselves. We started with 16 teams, and coming into tomorrow, we will have just 4. This is what we experienced today, though. It does feel like a year ago we actually witnessed Na'Vi versus Tyloo. But Robin, I'll let you go ahead and remind everyone what that game involved.
Yeah, I mean, for Tyloo, they actually did their homework throughout this tournament, actually. I mean, I'm sure everyone was impressed by how they actually managed to come out of groups, and facing off against a Na'Vi, Guardian is back. Guardian went ham. Guardian came in, and he conquered, and he was out. He played so good, and you can clearly tell in that game as well, if you go back and watch it, how much Guardian shows no respect for lesser teams, and that clearly shows. He was just completely amazing throughout that series. But overall, I think it just comes to show that Chinese CSGO, I mean, they do know how to play, and they're quite an impressive run.
Dignitas versus Envy. Following that one, we saw the French still show some signs of life. It does feel like people are probably expecting them to be having some trouble in their next game, though. And we've got Mouse, Godsent. We're going to have 2 Swedes in the semi-finals of a Swedish event here in DreamHack Masters.
We're actually going to have 10 Swedes.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah, okay. 2 Swedish teams. We have, of course, the
keep him honest.
Corrections from Yanko.
Well, if you count
It's not ESL now.
I was trying to sign off, Yanko.
Some banter goes back and forth here. Bullets come back the other way.
That was like my favourite phrase. Spanner in the works. I was like putting it together. I was like, time to sign off. 10 Swedes.
You know what?
What's he done to me?
You're the spanner in our works.
I think that's quite nice, though, because spanners come in, they fix those works. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, is that what you're
Fixing
doing?
things up. Yeah,
what you're doing?
Absolutely.
You can also break things.
I do it with a smile. I do it with a smile. I'm here to fix
things. You can
things.
also break things.
Fix, Some things are unfixable.
When I was a kid, spanner was like a big insult. You'd go, you spanner, and everyone would go. So you guys are
now we all say it affectionately.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You guys are hurting my feelings, but I'm going to go ahead and end this stream right here, right now. DreamHack Masters Malmö. The quarterfinals are done and dusted, and Virtus.pro, albeit a valiant attempt, could not quite handle the ninjas in pajamas. The Swedes will be in the semi-final alongside Godsent, and we will be seeing all 4 of those teams in full form starting at 10:30 tomorrow. Book that time in your schedule, guys, because it's going to be spectacular, and we hope to see you for the grand finals and the semi-finals of DreamHack Masters Malmö tomorrow.